Welcome to the Realm of Millenia. Be man, woman, child, a spirit, creature, or demon. Be ye a native migrator, or maybe even some sort of invader into the realm. Welcome, I am your host, the MILLENIANmailmen, and I'll be world building for you long after you have already begun to acclimate and finish. So go ahead, sit back, relax, and please do enjoy another Tourism Tuesday. Catching up on these Tourism Tuesdays because I've been kind of stalling ever since I agreed to the email request to stop doing time-related Tourism Tuesdays for a little bit. But I like my Tourism Tuesday time. But anyways, and finding some other stuff to talk about other than time. Because all my scheduled ones are definitely time sensitive. But But yes, Tourism Tuesday. This is the day I choose to talk about some lore building information about the Realm of Millenia. But a lot of my lore is time related. I'm sorry. So talking about some other things about it. I have some love cycles of sorts in relation to all my characters. I love them all. Don't doubt. I love all my characters, but my characters' displays of affection and loves amongst each other is a whole different thing. Yeah. They don't love each other at all. They all have some deficiencies here and there. And a part of that is one aspect of the characters that I tried to connect and link between them is linked through magic, or at least mana, and it affects their psyche in more ways than one. But I'll talk about that in a separate video. I'll do mana a separate video. That way I can extend my time gap as much as possible. Because someone doesn't like me talking about time so much, but that's fine. I'm a stinky loser, I guess. I'm not making time entertaining. But hey, so the way I have the psyche of all the characters, I tried my effective way of doing it and emphasizing the psyche of every character is based off this biological aspect of understanding that every container only has but so much room in it before it starts to overflow and lose something. So I could had to sign for an Amazon delivery. I just seen him pull up. But anyways, he's talking about biology and the mind, right? So one way I had this particular desire to introduce the concept was like, hey, any and every container can only hold but so much information. And seeing how in the realm of Millenia people can live such a extended period of time, I had to nerf some aspect of that in a realistic way. So like Dr. Stone, right? In that series, there's these super geniuses and everyone who gets petrified and gets to live an extremely large amount of time until they're like effectively reanimated from their petrified Medusa moments from the experiment gone awry. They come back, but that's how they get to live for a long time. My characters, through the power of magic, friendship, and other actually sensible biological additions, they get to live longer than, say, the general lifespan here on Earth. And the way they do that comes with a few caveats. Like, hey, unless you modify your body can only hold but so much information, the same way your mortal form can only wield so much strength in it without needing to delve into some excess receptacles. And the most important organ in any body is the brain, before you're just found as brain dead. Right? Your butt and chicken with its head chopped off. You need your brain. It's your most important organ, right next to your heart. Where without your brain or without your heart, you're not alive. You're not alive no more. Let's get realistic. So, yes, the brain can only hold but so much information. And going down that rabbit hole, I decided, like, hey, they're living a long time. How about we just attribute that to some of these symptoms of Alzheimer's, dementia, and the like, right? Where after you live so long, you kind of forget more and more things along the way, because, like, there is that aspect of relative immortality. You can know the aspects that vampires tend to somehow impossibly have. So how about we just make that a casual thing that we all naturally know and understand? People live a long time, but if they start living too long, they'll just randomly start forgetting stuff, right? So even the most naturally long-lived of people will just, like, naturally, like, cull themselves off. Like, hey, my mind can only hold but so much information. So they'll start limiting their own information, because the rest of it, kind of like a bowl that's being overfilled, is just going to roll off the sides. Not very much different than a retention curve, but retention curve just is more of a bowl or a tube. Let's say a tube. A tube filled to the top. Water can come in through the top. Water can come out through the bottom. But say, like, the bottom of it is made of this porous material that slowly lets it drip, drop, trickle outward, right? And the top is connected to the water supply, just constantly pushing, right? So it will never run empty, because more information is coming in. You know the way we talk about how you're always learning something. So long as you're alive, they're learning something new. Yeah, that's the container slowly being filled, right? So the top of this tube, the bowl, is constantly being filled up with more and more information by the spoonful, by the spoonful. Do I got to spoon feed you this information, or will you figure it out, right? Every day they live, another spoonful of sugar helps that medicine go down into the bowl, into the tube that you got here, called a living person, a living creature. And the longer they live, there is that little drip feature just slowly going out, right? That's the natural drip. That's the natural retention curve of information, of water filling up this tube, filling up that top funnel bowl. That little porous bottom is the retention curve. And let's just imagine that, hey, this tube, this bowl is entirely filled. What are you going to do with the excess? It's going to go over the sides. The drop off is just coming out the sides of the drop off and dropping off straight, gone. And people, as short-lived as we humans here on Earth, find that to be like, oh my, their capacity for knowledge it feels non-existent. So that must mean they're stupid, right? It must mean they're stupid. You were taught it or something, right? So we have these particular names for everyone, because it's like, how can your retention curve be that short? You got a short-term memory or something? Are you just dumb? Are you just stupid? Is there a certain problem with you? I mean, you are like 87 years old. It must mean that you have dementia or something. And we still don't fully understand how that works, in all honesty with you. That's why we don't have a cure for Alzheimer's and stuff, because we don't understand the wide scope of the mind just yet, right? But to better understand this and relate it to the Realm of Millenia, the way that I decided to go about it was saying, like, hey, what if we attribute all those mental deficiencies as into your brain is but so big, and after you fill it to capacity, it's naturally going to filter and erase something if you don't extend the capacity. Well, are there surgeries for that? Yeah, but not everyone has the opportunity to do that. So how are we going to fix this for most of it? We can do it through magic, right? We can do it through the system panel, because there is that common trend on systems and status panels where strength, intelligence, agility, and all that stuff. So how about we just click clock intelligence, +1 to intelligence, +1 to intelligence, +1 to intelligence, +1 to intelligence. We can recommend people do that. And through the power of magic, love and friendship, we can make it make sense effectively, right? And that's what they do. They're like, hey, my general intelligence is not, my intellectual capacity is not that big. I'm gonna tell you now, right? So the ignorance division came out with this information, like, hey, there is something called passive intelligence, not passive intelligence, passive versus active memories, and passive and active intelligence. There's passive and active wisdom, right? And the difference between the two is things that are the passive intelligence, the passive memories, the passively working intellect and memory is a part of your actual mind. And all of your active memories, your active wisdom, your active intelligence that you need to tap into and get seriously focused in order to access is going to be all the things that are falling off the sides of your little overfilled tube here, right? Everything that falls off the sides, none of the stuff that is coming out that bottom, right, is going to drip over into your little basin at the bottom, your catch, and fall into your system memory. So anything that comes out of your head, be it through the failings of your retention curve, or be it through you just receiving too much information all at once, that's going to be caught by like a drip by a, I don't know the term for it right now. That's my retention curve in effect right there. What is it called? So every water heater has one. It's like it catches the water in case of a spill or leak. Some coffee machines and ice machines have it too. A spot to catch what doesn't fall into the cup. I'm just call it the leaking catch. That's what it is. It's not. It's a leaking catch, right? So all of the intellect, the smarts, your wisdom, you can access through like your active memory, because it was caught by your system's active senses, right? And that's why people's memory is better when they access a system. It's like, oh my gosh, my intelligence is so high because I am an awakened that, because I'm an awakened this. My memory is so much better than everyone's. My memory, my knowledge is it's so much easier to do things related to intellect and wisdom. It's because Yeah, because everything that just flowed straight through your passive, mind, your actual kabbalah, the things that got into your head and made it stick, those things are, they may have went straight through in one ear and out the other ear of this tube. That might be one, but you have the catch of the system, like, hey, you almost lost all of this intelligence. So people are perceived to be smarter once they have awakened their system, because the system is going to help you maintain a lot of that mindful memory that you would have naturally just straight up lost. Right? So it's because of that. I was like, oh, yeah. I must be smart, right? No. You just have a safety feature that prevents you from easily losing everything that was there. That does not make you smart. Not at all. Right? We're going to judge you on your passive intellect, right? We need to judge you on your passive intellect to decide whether or not you're smart or not. Because the moment we see you have a high intelligence statistic right here, no, that's the system making up for way too many shortcomings of you. What's your passive intellect stat? How big is your actual brain? Your actual brain is only two brain cells. Oh, your big brain for 10,000, over 10,000 statistic in your intellect section is all from your system panel? Yeah, that's what I thought. You stupid. You stupid. Almost cursed right there. Right? So those are two aspects right there. So in order to correct the longevity of a lot of the characters and make it make sense that so many characters are smart and so many characters are less smart, how is this possible? It's like, yeah, it's harder to retain all the wisdom you came across in all the lands, even if it is relatively easy to share it, because your container is but so big. That's why the older people they're like, I need better stats for no other reason, just to make sure I don't lose any of the information. Who is calling me mid-video? Go. So, to better represent that, I chose to do it like so, because magic can fix everything. Any problem you think you have, the moment we introduce magic, that problem is gone. You're welcome. Yes, that is the difference between passive and active memories. Your passive and active mind, and how it's used, and what's the difference between it. The passive mind is basically your true brain, and after you awaken your system panel, you'll have an active mind you can access, which is represented from your point allocation in your status bar. It'll show like, hey, your intellect stat is this big. Okay? So, do with that as you will. But hey, that's just me, your Millennium Mailman. That has been another lore drop for you on a Tourism Tuesday. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you like what I had to say, or at least how I said it, press the like button. Comment down in the comment section down below your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, and opinions. Right down there, or just reach me at MILLENIANmailmen@gmail.com. I check my email once a week. I take all your fan and audience messages seriously, and by all of the means that you could possibly know of and hear, share the video for exposure of myself, the channel, or the fact that I'm writing this book series right now called Realm of Millenia. And subscribe if you feel like, don't if you don't. But always do remember peace, love, happiness, and all the best of things to you. Goodbye.